Hello and welcome to Select 10. If you want to completely lose yourself in catastrophic events, it's time to binge on some of the best post-apocalyptic TV shows. These 10 stories cover a broad range of topics, from epidemics of viruses to extraterrestrial invasions to complete nuclear destruction. Additionally, this is part 2, so the series discussed in part 1 won't be included, but I've added a link in the description for you to check out. Now let's start the video. Number 10. SNOWPIERCER. It is an post-apocalyptic dystopian thriller series based on the book of the same name by Jacques Loeb and Jean-Marc Richet. The show is set in a time where the Earth's ecological balance has been severely damaged and the entire planet has turned into an icy landscape. The narrative centers on the surviving members of mankind who have found refuge on a luxurious train that travels non-stop across the world, providing power and keeping everyone aboard from dying at the same time. However, after the disaster, the people on the train have been tightly divided into classes and are inevitably drawn into a rebellion to overthrow the forcibly established social order and the unfair distribution of limited supplies. The show's core narrative tackles topics of struggle between classes, inequalities in society, and the economics of surviving, while the underclass tries to seize control of the train and put an end to injustice. The show is stylish and has a great sci-fi plot that rides over an endless wilderness and captures your attention with its bizarre idea of a frozen Earth and its crazy survival elements. The plot is so captivating that you find yourself eagerly anticipating what will happen next. The good news for fans of the show is that it has been renewed for a 4th and final season. Number 9. To the Lake. It is an post-apocalyptic thriller series directed by Pavel Kostomarov. The story takes place in Moscow, where its inhabitants have been affected by a lethal virus that is causing a mysterious illness. Before anyone realizes what is happening, the illness spreads, and the entire city progressively transforms into a city of survivors without power or law. In the aftermath, the city is isolated, with every entrance sealed, and the main plot centers on Sergei and his family as they try to run away from the outbreak to an island to shelter from the possibility of getting sick and aboard a refuge vessel. However, it's not as easy as it might seem, as they come across many obstacles along the journey, deal with personal issues, and learn how to stay alive. Along with its compelling post-apocalyptic scenario, the film also features a moody family drama that adds to the main plot's fascination and keeps you on the verge of suspense and thrills. Also, the lack of a zombie epidemic theme separates this show from other apocalyptic dramas, which is good if you want a break from traditional zombie shows. Number 8. The PACT. It is a post-apocalyptic mystery thriller created by Bobby Barbacioru. The story is set in a post-apocalyptic environment that is plagued by an enigmatic mist and tells the story of a family that was pushed to the brink of breakdown by this odd new world as they ventured with other humans in search of the source and treatment for the enigmatic fog known as the miasma, which causes people to go insane. The series only consists of 6 episodes, and while there are numerous mysteries that pop up throughout their journey, there is not much or no closure to them, leading to a very unsatisfying conclusion. Although the plot moves incredibly slowly, it manages to find the perfect mix between fictional realism and great action, and it contains enough suspense throughout the slow-moving narrative to keep you interested. It is not perfect, but it is worth watching. Number 7. 12 Monkeys. It is a sci-fi mystery series created by Terry Matalas and Travis Fickett. If you've watched it, this might be one of your favorites. If not, it'll become one when you see it. The narrative is set in 2043 and centers on explorer James Cole, who is hired by a group of researchers to go back in time to 2015 to prevent the mysterious group, known as the Army of the 12 Monkeys, from unleashing a fatal disease. In Cole's initial timeline, an infectious disease produced an epidemic that led to the deaths of 7 billion individuals in the year 2017, and its continuing variations will eventually lead to the extinction of humanity. So in the year 2015, Cole finds and seeks the assistance of the talented Dr. Cassandra Rayleigh, and together, the two work to identify and locate the enigmatic Army of the 12 Monkeys commander, who constantly stays one step beyond them. Time travel and a dreadful epidemic proved to be a lethal combination for this drama, making it an underrated gem. It is a stunning show with a phenomenal story that takes you on an epic quest involving time travel, post-apocalyptic settings, and science fiction. Number 6. Van Helsing. It is a post-apocalyptic horror action series created by Neil Labute. The story unfolds in a near-future post-apocalyptic society in which vampires rule. The main character is Vanessa Van Helsing, the offspring of the renowned vampire hunter who wakes up from an unconscious state after being declared dead and discovers herself in a post-apocalyptic universe where vampires have taken over humanity as a consequence of the explosion that covered the entire planet in debris and prevented daylight from reaching the surface. On the other side, she's mankind's final hope thanks to her unusual blood type, which allows her to transform vampires back into humans. Now with this mysterious ability, Vanessa remains the main objective for the vampires who pursue her while she is shielded by an officer sent to safeguard her and the doctor who rescued her, allowing her to guide a rebellion to fight the vampires. The show's progression is accompanied by intriguing secondary stories, solid characters, and outstanding visual effects. The show is quite fascinating, so check it out if you want to watch bloody battles, insane action, vampires, and a modern post-apocalyptic story. Number 5. Into the Badlands. It is a post-apocalyptic action-adventure series created by Alfred Goh and Miles Miller. The story is set 5 centuries after a catastrophe that destroyed the majority of the planet. Meanwhile, the Barons are the rulers of the region called Badlands, who maintain authority throughout their own domains and assemble legions of deadly combatants known as Clippers, a fierce and devoted warrior clan. The plot centers on Regent Sunny, an exceptionally talented fighter and a member of Baron Quinn, who rescues a mysterious youngster named MK who is hiding a terrible secret from his dark past. But when Sunny brought him back to the castle to learn, MK lost his grip on himself as if evil had taken control of the body, rendering him important to a rival Baron, the Widow, who intends to dominate over the Badlands and feels MK is the secret to her victory. The fates of Sunny and MK become interconnected as the struggle for authority in the Badlands intensifies and the rival barons attempt to maintain their dominance, while Sunny must learn the truth about his past, as well as its strange connection with MK. This show is simply crazy, and martial arts action is like icing on the cake. The story takes you to a fantastic post-apocalyptic world backed by an exceptional story that has just the right amount of supernatural elements and unexpected twists. Number 4. JERICHO. It is an post-apocalyptic action series created by Steven Chbosky, Josh Shar, and Jonathan E. Steinberg. The story is set following the event of a nuclear explosion when a mushroom cloud can be seen in the sky and the tiny town of Jericho is left in complete darkness. After this horrific event, Jericho town and its people descend into chaos as a result of the dread of the unknown, while seemingly sane individuals develop panic. However, even in the midst of anarchy, the locals steadily attempt to reconstruct Jericho, and in the process, they find themselves embroiled in a violent territorial battle with the people of a rival community. In the meantime, the nation's new ruler makes an effort to forge an outpost in the area, and the people of Jericho start to wonder about the intentions of their new ruler and why their town is so crucial to this newly created authority. The narrative advances as the residents of the town search for explanations for the explosion and methods of survival. This show has a cult following and received positive feedback from viewers, which is what first drew me to the series. And certainly, all the buzz is justified. The show is truly fantastic and captivating. Of course, not everyone will enjoy it as much as some did, but it is a fantastic show in this genre that should not be disregarded. Number 3. Falling Skies. It is an post-apocalyptic sci-fi series created by Robert Trottet. This show's concept is a familiar one: an extraterrestrial invades Earth, and the humans strive to survive and resist. But what makes this series so enjoyable to binge on is how it manages and portrays this narrative. The plot is set after an alien attack that left a large portion of the planet dysfunctional, and the core plot follows Tom Mason, a professor whose partner tragically died in the invasion, and one of his children, who is part of a gang of kidnapped teenagers. Tom, who is frantic to save his son, teams up with a division tasked with defending the survivors in order to gather information on the aliens and develop a counterattack. The plan, however, remains unstable as they learn that they are up against an extremely trained and well-armed alien force, and they need to figure out why these creatures are on Earth. If you enjoy sci-fi and end-of-the-world stuff, you should definitely add this to your watchlist. It won't let you down on either of these two topics. Number 2. Battlestar Galactica. It is a post-apocalyptic military sci-fi series developed by Ronald D. Moore. The series plays out in a faraway solar system where a human civilization lives on a set of worlds called the 12 Colonies of Kobol. But the Cylons, a robotic civilization that the colonies used to be at war with, destroyed each planet and decimated its inhabitants. In the aftermath of the conflict of the whole colonial fleet, the Battlestar Galactica was the only functioning armed ship that made it through the strike. The main focus of the narrative is on William, Battlestar Galactica's leading officer, and the other crew members as they take on the responsibility of guiding a tiny group of fleeing individuals into space to find the rumored 13th territory, known as Earth, while being targeted by Cylons determined to exterminate the last of the human race. The 4 seasons of the show feature several plot twists and turns that keep you interested throughout the conflict between the Colonials and the Cylons. There is more to discuss regarding this show, including its crazy spaceships, battles, unique species, and more, but for the time being, this is sufficient for a new viewer to start watching it. The story blew out my imagination with its originality and many inventive concepts, which were combined with a thorough understanding of sci-fi storytelling. Number 1. The 100. It is an post-apocalyptic science fiction series based on book The 100 by Cas Moran. The show is set in the wake of a catastrophic nuclear event that wipes everything on Earth, and the only survivors was those who were on board the 12 international space facilities at the time of the incident. However, generations later, in an effort to find a solution, the leaders of the spaceship dispatch 100 young inmates down to the Earth to assess its suitability for human habitation. The inmates, however, find the world to be both interesting and horrifying once they arrive on it, but the real issues start to surface when they learn that some humans on Earth managed to survive the conflict. The series' tendency to exceed expectations and grow over time is one of its best qualities. The series is praiseworthy, with breathtaking visuals that portray the barren grandeur of Earth's post-apocalyptic environments. Although the pacing of the show can be uneven at times and some of the story twists may divide viewers, it is generally a binge-worthy series that deserves to be seen for its extraordinary story. That's it for today. Thank you for watching this video. And do subscribe our channel to see more videos related to movies and series suggestions.